What's going on, family? Welcome to another episode of the Seasonal Roast Show. I am your host. It is that time. It is that time. I just came from seeing Wakanda Forever, and today we're going to talk about it right here on the Seasonal Roast Show.
Shed no tear, no woman, no cry.
So I just came from seeing Wakanda Forever, and just a few takeaways. The blip theory, gone, finito. It's not even a thing. I didn't even say it. You wasn't even there when I said it, so I didn't say it no more. The other thing I said about Riri Williams' introduction being trash, no, I'm trash for having that opinion. And my third opinion about Ryan Coogler setting Namor up for failure, well, let's get into the movie. I feel like the excuse of killing T'Challa was very terrible, and I feel like it was a cop-out. It wasn't really, it didn't serve a purpose. Like, we know that he was gone, so we just said that this happened. He died from some unknown disease, right? I felt like the writing room could have did a little better than that. Fast forward, we go into Shuri trying to create a replica of the heart-shaped herb to save her brother. Now, did it work? It didn't. So he died. Okay. Funeral happened. It was sad. All right. Let's get into the action. Later, we find out that the U.S. is looking for more vibranium with this machine made from a 19-year-old girl at MIT, a.k.a. Riri Williams, a.k.a. Ironheart, a.k.a. I wanted them to show Chicago, but they showed Massachusetts instead. You know, this vibranium story is starting to sound really Avatar-ish. Shout out to James Cameron. This leads Namor to go to Wakanda because he wants to know why the hell they told him about vibranium, because now they trying to mess up what he got going on. Namor ends up threatening them. Queen Mother said, we don't play that. Namor kills Queen Mother. It wasn't really felt on screen. Marvel do better. And so on. This leaves Shuri enraged. She goes to develop the heart-shaped herb again and actually succeeds this time. She goes to the ancestral plane and is met by not her mother, but Michael Jordan. Michael B. Jordan. Killmonger. You know, what Killmonger says in this film brought me to the realization that he is actually one of the top 3 MCU villains. I'm going to hit this fast forward button one more time. Shuri becomes Black Panther. It's a short-lived career, and honestly, I feel like it's due to the fact that she had that disagreement with Disney back about the virus. Don't want to mention it on YouTube because you know how they be tripping sometimes. Well, let's get into what I think about this film, the final thoughts. I feel like this movie is a 9.5 out of 10. Why do I say that? Although I had a lot of things against this film, I feel like it delivered what it needed to everyone. It was 2 hours and 40 minutes. And I feel like if it was a little longer, it still would have been great. I didn't check my watch once. And normally that's what I do when these movies are dragging and they're not really good. And I'm just wondering when the hell I'm getting out of here. A couple things they did right. I feel like the introduction to Namor was actually good. And that's hard to do sometimes because for some odd reason, we felt that Aquaman needed a movie. Namor definitely doesn't need a movie, and he's 10 times more interesting than Aquaman. But I feel like a Namor movie would have put me to sleep just the same. Another introduction was Riri Williams. I felt like it wasn't just thrown in our face. I feel like they did it with tact. Kind of like they did with Spider-Man and Civil War. In all reality, I actually hated that introduction because you could see that it was forced. And knowing the information behind the movie, you knew that it was a last minute thing. So you can pretty much tell watching the film if you look close enough. Third thing I felt like they did very well was, this is a very important spoiler, so brace yourselves. They introduced T'Challa's son. And the fact that they did this was phenomenal, and I thought that was coming. And I feel like I predicted that in my video as well. And that is another way that we can get the Black Panther story told, because instead of naming him by T'Challa's son name in the comics, they actually named him after T'Challa. Well, they kind of named him after himself in the comics as well, but you guys will see what I'm talking about when you watch the movie. But we're still going to get T'Challa's story through this kid, and I feel like that's going to be the winner. Like, we're going to get the Storm story that we wanted, and I feel like we're going to go back and get that Namor story that we wanted as well, because another spoiler, Namor survives and Wakanda isn't flooded. So those are two stories that we can get back if we really wanted to, if Marvel really wanted to put that on screen. All right. What do y'all think? Are you seeing Black Panther this weekend? If you are, go ahead, let me know what you thought about it. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Peace.